Beaky has a very unique design here. It used to have a beak sticking out the top, so think like a small actuated finger or something like that. But he's decided to put it underneath the robot now, which means that when he activates it, it actually lifts the entire wedge on the front up, like one big lifting arm, as you can see as he's waving it around there. This has been surprisingly effective. It does mean that that wedge is now the lifting arm. It means that it is very well protected, very heavy, very capable of lifting opponents. Unfortunately, the positioning of it has shown to be a bit of a weakness, as in a lot of those lifting cases, he ends up lifting his back end off the ground instead of being able to lift the opponent on the front. Derpy Dozer on the other side, a big, very fast, maneuverable robot with a hard wedge on front, hoping to push his opponent around. Everybody's ready? All right, we are ready to go, so we will begin in 3, 2, 1, fight. And look at Derpy Dozer coming in really fast there. Nice box rush, trying to get in front of Beaky as much as possible. He really wants a push out on either side, although now he's having a bit of trouble getting around that red hazard. And those hazards are very hazardous, especially at the Fairyweight scale here, because they're big, much bigger than the robots are. And look how fast this robot is. You barely watch him skid across the floor. But Brian's got quite a bit of practice driving this robot, and is fairly well controlled at it. Poor Ethan's trying to get Beaky around that hazard. They're both trying to use it kind of defensively. It's like, yeah, sure, come at me. You can hit the hazard instead. Another thing they have to watch for is that the way that red hazard spins, if you hit it just right, it'll throw you clean out the side. Oh, is he still in? It's good to pause the match here. Our ref is trying to decide. Okay, he's decided that he is also out, so Brian is hanging over the edge. He cannot move, therefore this is a double knockout, so we'll put them both back in, and we'll continue the fight from where it's at. So we'll get them back in their respective corners. It looks like they are ready. We'll continue it in 3, 2, 1, fight some more. So the important thing here is that in this pushing match, which is a very fast pushing match, Beaky now ending up on its back, it's important that you push your opponent out, but you don't go out yourself. And sometimes you can just end up missing entirely and driving out. That happens a lot. Brian doing a great job here at Derpy Dozer, pinning Beaky up against the wall as Ethan trying to use the little beak underneath as much as he can. Uh-oh. But Derpy Dozer has been bumped into that blue hazard, ripping one wheel off. He still has 3, but it looks like it's not driving very well without the 4th wheel on there, as that wedge is kind of dragging on the ground, not properly supported by the wheels anymore. That is going to make this pushing match much harder for Brian. Ethan trying to get around and use that lifting beak against him, but every time he gets near, Brian just guns it, and it's very difficult for him to get underneath. There we go, Brian's Derpy Dozer getting underneath of Beaky and then ramping back over top. Beaky now upside down. He doesn't actually have a good way to right himself other than by ramming into his opponent, as you can see right about here. Derpy Dozer trying to take advantage of it. He gets very close to the red push out, but not quite able to do it. Both of these robots very nimble, and both drivers quite capable. So now Brian trying to line up a run at him. Again, going to be kind of hard to go straight. It definitely wants to veer one way or another. He's got him over to the side, and that is a clean push out for Brian with Derpy Dozer. Congratulations. That was a hard one to fight back from there. I'm sure a disappointing one to not get that original push out, but manages to line up another good attack.